4 years later, and I'm on my way to meet Job Sakala again. This is Zambia and the road south to the border with Zimbabwe. We got word late last night that he made it across the border safely into Zambia. Hopefully he's going to be waiting for us there now. Hi Job, how are you doing? It's been a while since we met. How are you? You're very well. Yeah, nice to see you again. Huh? Nice to see you. How you doing? How are you? How serious is the situation in Zimbabwe now?
There are a lot of arrests that are taking place against opposition figures. A number of opposition figures are being tortured. So basically, at the present moment in Zimbabwe, the situation is very critical. And it is now the situation whereby the international community must play its moral role.
Do you feel, when you look at this from the beginning, that you've been let down by South Africa, that they should have spoken out against the injustice?
There is no doubt that the majority of the people in Zimbabwe condemn President Thabo Mbeki for not having taken a very bold stance and bold decision to make a decision that enough is enough. South Africa has been under apartheid for a long time. The people of Zimbabwe are well aware of how South Africa fought the oppressive system of apartheid. And so the same, like in Zimbabwe, we are living under a black apartheid government.
Mbeki feared that imposing sanctions and isolating Mugabe would collapse the Zimbabwean state. But the refugees fled anyway. These are some of the 4 million now in South Africa. Mbeki was by instinct a backroom negotiator, not one to confront. But there was a powerful sense his own resentments were helping to guide policy. He wouldn't be lectured, not by those he believed bore a historic responsibility for Africa's problems. People looked at South Africa in 1994 and said this country is going to be a moral force, not just within its own borders, but for Africa as a whole. Now, a lot of people looking at you today from abroad would say that you failed, you haven't done that.
There's a difference between a person who sits from far and condemns and goes to sleep and doesn't have to do anything about it, and a person who has to do something about the matter. And you will know that the solution is not just condemnation, but it is about how you help people to develop beyond where they are, how they deal with their challenges. And some of the challenges come from the colonial period.
When Nelson Mandela made his first speech as president, the ANC was united, Africa's oldest liberation movement, offering hope to the entire continent.
Let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. I thank you.
But 13 years on, there's growing disillusionment. Mandela's successor is now an isolated figure waiting for his term to end. And the true core of South Africa's crisis, the huge inequality between rich and poor, is, as Mbeki himself once put it, the stuff of nightmares. Enter the man who would rescue the nation. He's certainly got a different style. Zuma was Mbeki's former deputy, but they fell out bitterly. Last December, Zuma beat Mbeki in party leadership elections, putting him in line for president when Mbeki retires next year. Zuma has promised action on Zimbabwe and AIDS, but it's his pledge to tackle inequality that's made him popular with the poor.
Zuma.
But is Jacob Zuma the man to lead South Africa? In 2006, he was acquitted of raping a family friend, but admitted having unprotected sex with her, despite knowing she was HIV positive. And he said he tried to minimize his risk of infection by showering afterwards. This when he was leading the country's AIDS campaign.
It is totally unacceptable that a man should have unprotected sex with a person other than his regular partner, and definitely not with a person who to his knowledge is HIV positive. I do not even want to comment on the effect of a shower.
Yet when I met Zuma in Johannesburg, he'd just promised a new anti-AIDS campaign. Is it not extraordinary hypocrisy for Jacob Zuma to lecture anybody about HIV and AIDS when you're the man who stood up in a courtroom and acknowledged having unprotected sex with somebody you knew was HIV positive?
It can't be
And
hypocrisy.
then you come out and say, well, I took a shower and therefore thought I'd be okay.
The story of the shower makes the big news.
Did you really think that would get rid of HIV, having a shower?
No. Did I think so? No. It's your guys, the media, who say so. Who say I believed it will take out AIDS. How could I believe that?
But do you not think that whole episode
No.
casts grave doubt on your fitness for any kind of office,
No,
let alone the
can't be.
presidency of
It
South
can't
Africa?
be. What happened, that case, was what happens to people. People make mistakes in their lives. And for that mistake, I apologize to the people of South Africa.
Ethically and morally, are you fit to lead this country?
Absolutely fit. Absolutely fit. I've been fit to fight for the freedom of this country. I've been fit to be in the ANC leadership as that thing happened when I'm already in the ANC leadership. And I'm still fit. And I've got a better lesson to tell people. Don't commit the same mistake.
But this is still a country where the powerful can be held to account. In 2005, Zuma's financial advisor went to jail for his role in a corrupt arms deal with a foreign company. Now Zuma has been charged with corruption. A lot of people think you're a crook.
Is that so? I want to see those people. Like, I must tell me why they think I'm a crook.
Well, there's a whole army of prosecutors clearly think it.
Is that so? Oh, serious. Okay.
Are you a crook?
Me? Well, I don't know. Unless I must go to the dictionary and learn what a crook is. I've never been a crook.
Somebody who takes money from other people for corrupt purposes.
Have I ever done so?
I'm asking you.
No. I think that's a mistake you guys have made. And I said I can't have two trials. A trial by the media and then trial by court. I'm saying I'm not a crook. I've never been a crook. I'll never be a crook.
I am sad. I mean, I have to say that at the present time, I am feeling sad for our country, and I have said, please bear in mind that they are also electing someone who is potentially head of state for our country, and they should please not choose someone of whom most of us would be ashamed. I mean, our country deserves better.
What is your vision?
I want people in the ANC who believe in democracy, who will uphold democracy, who will defend democracy. And I'm part of that army in the ANC, and that's my vision.
To those in the international community who look at the situation now and the possibility of your becoming president and say to themselves, how on earth did we come from a situation of having Nelson Mandela to Jacob Zuma? What would you say to them?
It's actually a wrong question, because you can't have 100 Mandelas. Impossible. It's not possible, because you can't try to judge a country by each leader, unless you're saying South Africa must just give birth to Mandelas only, nobody else. It can't be.
So no more Mandelas. The euphoria of liberation is long gone. And given the problems South Africa faced, that is inevitable. But my fear at the end of this South African journey is that Nelson Mandela's greatest legacy is being squandered. The gift of hope to a people who suffered so much.
Fergal Keane reporting, and like on Panorama.